Evans is going to play advantage and come back and hand the card out to the Jets right back.
Well, again, and he might be a bit sore this time, but Jason Hoffman, who's a strong, big, strong athlete, certainly taller than Otter, but Otter's beaten him on every heading duel so far, and he won that one as well. Ball comes through to Timmins, who's caught late by Miller. Good advantage played by Sean Evans, although one wasn't to really accumulate, so back it comes for the free kick and the yellow card to Matt Miller.
He's been busy so far, Cal Timmins, with possession, but also defensively as well, scrapping. Here he is with a touch again. O'Donovan got in the way. Army in tow. Snuffed out by Roy O'Donovan doing some defensive duties. Timmins winning the header. Now Miller will bounce for Stamatolopoulos. Was Aspro too forceful there? Yes, according to Evans.
That's a clear foul, that one. Aspro on Apo.
Well, Andy Howe could probably do the stats on that, but if you combine those two names, Stamatolopoulos and Aspropotomides, would there be two longer names in the A-League?
I don't know, but all I know is I combined the two at the start of the court in the one hit.
Nazarene. Jackson is arriving at the back post. Topo Stanley flicked on and Reddy has it in his arms. And Perth Glory fans breathe a sigh of relief. And Italiano gives us all a chance to take a breath.
Well, the chance register probably even now. Italiano making those two great saves early in the game. And Newcastle have had their sights on goal in recent times. Liam Reddy not to be beaten yet, however.
Hoffman's down again. And Fornaroli into the book this time.
Well, Jace Hoffman, I mean, he's in the wars. He had ankle injury, I think, which he suffered game one against the Mariners. I hope this is not the same leg.
Well, it looks like the groin. This would be awful because it has been the groin most recently for Jason Hoffman, as we just see this chance again.
That was a looping free kick from Remy Nazarene. We're used to seeing him fire them in a much lower trajectory.
Oh, this is probably going to force Jason Hoffman from the field. So his first start back since round 7. And I don't want to diagnose it too early, but it looks to be in that region. He works so hard.
Definitely testing for the groin there. You see the movement of the hip and then asking him to come inside with his open legs. He's now motioning over the physio to the bench and letting them know.
Was it just a scare, or is it going to force him off? Was it just a scare, or is it going to force him off?
Time will tell.
That looks to be a better sign for Jason Hoffman. As I said, he works so hard on his rehab and such a true professional to get himself ready back in the starting side for this one. So it would be cruel if he was forced from the field, but looks to be all right. Maybe just a little worried after what he's gone through. Just making sure it was all a-okay. So Jackson with the set piece. Straight to Hoffman to test it out. Looks to be moving freely. Miller. Nazarene. Thurgate. Jackson links with Miller. Nazarene in a tight spot. So inside 2.5 minutes of regulation time left in this first half. Aspro put under some pressure by Stamatolopoulos. We're in Coffs Harbour tonight for the second competitive A-League match. And Jason Guerrier striding forward. Guerrier! He's never scored in 111 A-League matches. That is a record. And he wasn't far away there.
And Newcastle just couldn't reel him in. And he's a real flyer, Jason Guerrier, but there's not a blue shirt in sight. Thurgate has to leave the centre of midfield to go and try and stem the tide. Concedes the corner in the end.
I'd love one right before half-time, the Glory fans. Jackson again strong in the air. Stamatolopoulos, his header, or maybe off the shoulder, almost gave the Jets more concerns. Away from O'Toole. That's Rapotomides there first. Thurgate. And now Jackson. Kilkenny nudging it up ahead of Popple Stanley. 3 points is the requirement for both sides tonight. A point really does little in that race for the top six.
And 2 extra minutes to be played, Ben.
Thanks, Bozza. So 2 minutes for either side to find the opening goal. Kilkenny. Space aplenty around him. And the pass is a poor one for a man who had no pressure on him.
Poor. Really unusual for Kilkenny to miss-hit something in such a manner.
So 2 minutes confirmed. Miento's header falls for Rami Nasharine. Fornaroli. Bruno picking out Guerrier. Plenty of speed that Jason Guerrier possesses. Now he's showing his skills. The deflection off Stamatolopoulos. And now Keogh is rising. Jackson again winning it in the air. Kilkenny. Jackson once again blocking the path to goal. He has been strong in this first half, Lockie Jackson for Newcastle. Guerrier. That's Rapotomides. Linking with Latchman. Kilkenny. Miento. Keogh. Well, Popple Stanley may have copped a boot in the face.
Well, it's a hospital pass from Miento. He's been well off his game, Carlo, tonight. I mean, these are dream positions for a player like Carlo Miento. Receives the ball on the edge of the penalty area. That's when you want him to work some magic. He's just fired a massively low percentage pass into Andy Keogh. What the Irishman was supposed to do with that is beyond me.
Wasn't a boot from Keogh, actually a trailing arm there. Saw on the replay. Here he is, Carlo, who's so good on Wednesday last week against Sydney. Probably their best player and probably should have had a penalty. So it ends all square in Coffs Harbour at half-time. Chances at both ends, but Lewis Italiano and Liam Reddy have been solid between the sticks to ensure at the break at Coffs Harbour, Newcastle Jets 0, Perth Glory 0. Newcastle desperate to end a 7-match losing run. Perth just the 1 win in their last 8. That actually came against the Jets in round 14. And they've got a bulk of home matches coming towards the back end of the season. But if they keep dropping points on the road, their spot and their shot at a top 6 opportunity to play in the finals may be gone before they get to those home matches. So this is critical, this second 45 on the way. We're going to get some reaction in just a second. Let's head down to Mark Bosnich.
Thank you very much, Ben. Well, with me is Newcastle Jets goalkeeper Lewis Italiano. Lewis, tight first half from both sides, but you had to make 2 fantastic saves, especially the second one. Talk us through it, because it was difficult when they approached the ball straight, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's difficult when they approach the ball straight on. We need the boys to press on and avoid those shots. Look, the main objective of the thing was not to concede early. So we've been into half-time, restart and go into 90.
And what did you make of the overall play of your team, both defensively and in attack?
Oh, of course, better. This game's a huge improvement. Look, we've still got another 45 to go, so like you said, heads down, keep working.
Lewis, going to listen to what your manager's got to say.
Thanks, Wes.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 0-0 here between the Newcastle Jets and Perth Glory as we go to the commercial break, and afterwards, Andy Harper and myself will be discussing all the incidents from the first half.
Does not get bigger than this. Fire alarms, smoke alarms, they're all going off. The Panthers!
They are the most deadly side that we've got in the competition.
There have been so many memorable clashes between these two sides. Oh, we're going down to the wire here.
It's on here. Get out of town. There's the individual brilliance. And Fox League will be the place to watch it.
More deliveries, Nick.
Well, the more you know, the more you grow, Paul. And being sent these business tips in my CommBank app sure is an app vantage. It's gonna catch on.
Tailored tips to help you grow your business. That's a business app vantage.
Whoa, grizzly bear.
I got this. What? It's leaving.
You can't resist the call of Smiths.
Very easy for you to set up a smart home at Bunnings.
Smart Light Starter Kit, only $290. Alex Smart Adapter, just $17.50.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Domino's Everyday Value range is now 3 times as good because it's now in 3 sizes, starting from an unbelievable $3. All your favourite value range recipes now from just $3. Domino's all-new value range. Bring it in.
At Burson, we know auto parts. For the last 50 years, we've been known for our first-class knowledge and service. And with over 195 stores across Australia, your experienced local Burson team are ready to help.
Ben Cunnington, AFL star, talks about his hair loss.
The best thing about having my hair back is probably my self-confidence.
Call Advanced Hair Studio now.
Just like I did.
Call 1300 Advanced now.
It's bloody good having fast flowing internet, but if you don't have it, you can get it by switching to Aussie Broadband. Switch to internet that's 5 times faster than average in just minutes. Aussie Broadband, bloody good broadband.
Broken down, eh, Keith? Oh dear. Some insurers don't offer free roadside assist for a year, but Amy does, with a new Amy Comprehensive Car Insurance Policy. Does your insurer offer this? Amy does.
It's time for a new set of celebrities to run wild.
I'm out here with Bear Grylls. Ah!
Setting off on the adventure of a lifetime.
Where do I begin?
Let's go!
The tough survive.
Whoa! I hit a grub.
I'm emotional.
Running Wild with Bear Grylls starts April 20, new to National Geographic.
Welcome back here to CEX Coffs International Stadium in Coffs Harbour. where Newcastle Jets and Perth Glory both go into the break at 0-0. Both teams had their chances to take the lead, but the defences and especially the goalkeepers were on top in this first half here. I'm joined here by Andy Harper at half-time at, like I said, an international stadium here in Coffs Harbour. Magnificent. We've been to some places, haven't we,
Well,
Andy?
of course, and this is where Archie Thompson set a world record.
There you
buzzer.
go. There you go. Absolutely wonderful scenery around here. What was your take on the first half?
Well, it was 10v11, and I think you made the point, I think quite rightly, you know, the confidence must be very brittle. When you consider that, the teams that have come in and they haven't won in ages, Jets in 7 straight losses, then I think they've done a good job. I think tellingly, though, that it's the goalkeepers who look more like they're on top of their game than any of the field players at the moment.
Well, let's talk about the way that the goalkeepers especially started, and Perth actually started probably the better of the two sides, and it was Luis Italiano who brought off 2 really good saves. This one was a much better save than it looked, but the second one from Fornaroli was top draw.
Well, the worry about that first one, and I know it was going through Craig Deans' mind, but that was 30 seconds into the game, and they went behind against Western United with a goal in the same sort of time frame 2 games ago. So they got away with that one. Fornaroli's blasted this. I mean, he's such a wonderful player, and he's not in goal-scoring form at the moment, but his general play is really for the youngsters to be watching how he protects and shields the ball. On that occasion, the shot was a ripper, and Italiano did fantastically to save it.
And then Newcastle came back into it and probably had the majority then of the first half in their favour. And Liam Reddy at the other end, perhaps not as difficult saves, but still he was in the right place at the right time at some crucial moments.
Well, Bozza, I should be asking you this question because Reddy, it wasn't spectacular what he did, but if he's not concentrating, if he's not on his game, if he's not on his toes and ready to go, indeed. So and I love this bit of defending.
I was just about to say to you, you made a wonderful point in commentary about the way that he defended this, because a lot of goalkeepers would have went to ground and would give the opportunity for the player to go over him and get a penalty, but he forced him wide and gave his defenders time to get back. Some of the other shot, this is the one that just took a slight deflection from Angus Thurgate. There was the one, obviously, that hit the post as well. But coming back to what we just said, it was his positioning. Like we saw not to dislike against Sydney, when he was in the right place at the right time. But that's an actual knack for a goalkeeper as well. Now, let's talk about the end of the game. The end of the first half. Perth Glory came back into, but one player who really stood out, in my opinion, for Perth Glory was down here on this left-hand side nearest to the touchline, Kazuki Ota, who was absolutely fantastic. One of those crosses that he put as one of the most difficult arts in football when you're running at pace to put the cross in.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've done him a disservice by saying really it's only the goalkeepers who look like they're in their normal playing mode. The others are in battle mode. We've got to get themselves out of the hole. But Ota has been quality. You know, he's been up against Jason Hoffman, although that battle's finished now. We believe Hoffman's going to depart with injury. But Keisuke Ota won every headed duel against Jason Hoffman. He must give away half a foot in height. That's something. On the ground, he's beautiful, and he's crossing. And this is the big difference. I made this point, and we can't not keep making it. You bring guys in from overseas, and from this is the one you're talking about, running away from the goal, hitting it across his body, so hard, and to still get such pepper on it was incredible. He really delivers 9 times out of 10 when he's in those delivery situations. The ball ends up in the danger zone, and a big difference between Perth and Newcastle, the 2 protagonists tonight on the evidence of this season, is that Newcastle, Miller and O'Toole do not convert those crossing situations with nearly enough frequency. Otter is basically, I reckon, at 90% effectiveness from that left side.
Now, before we go to the break, let's your Craig Deans, what do you say to Newcastle first?
Well, the message is going to be keep going the same way. They're going to make this change. Yule, I think, is going to come on. I'm still scratching my head as to why he didn't start the game, but
me too.
Coach knows better.
No, I agree.
And I think that's danger for Perth. Valentino Yule is a real live wire, and he's going to cause them some real trouble. It's just
Would you put
beautiful.
Yule here on the right-hand side? Would you put him on the left-hand side where he has been recently cutting in on his right foot?
Yeah, look, mate, to be honest with someone like Valentino Yule, I'd say just go where you sniff a chance. Play your instincts, play off the cuff. There's enough guys around there who can hold positions, but I think guys like Valentino Yule, the type of football that they play, are sometimes more dangerous when you take the shackles off them. And it's not to say that he can't play a disciplined role at all. I think he's more effective when he's released from that and can just run amok.
And a quick one on Perth, Richard Garcia, what do you say?
Play through the midfield. You know, I just don't.
I heard you say that.
I don't think Newcastle have the grafters. They've got good players, but they don't have the grafters in midfield. If Perth can get some action going through there, I think they can steamroll the Jets through midfield.
All right, well, we've got to go to break. But before we go to the break, and remember on Fox Sports Australia, another fight night coming up on April 21st. Paul Gallen looking to continue his unbeaten run against former world champion Lucas Brown. We'll see you all after the break.
You win a reserve grade competition, you don't run around telling everyone you won the NRL premiership, which is what he does.
I think I need a bit more respect than that. He just rubs me the wrong way. I just want to punch him in the nose.
You come into Bunnings, you walk around, there's so many different products here. It just sparks ideas for people. They come in wanting something, but they go out with a lot more ideas and they make it happen. I think that's what this place is about.
When you set a goal for your home, you can really achieve a lot.
We just make it as easy for our customers as we can.
If you need any help, Bunnings are always here to help. So in-store, online, on the phone, we're here in any way you need us.
And we can go and help take that challenge to go and do something on your own.
You can kick off your home projects at Bunnings. Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Whoa, grizzly bear. I got this. What? Oh, it's leaving.
You can't resist the call of Smiths.
First signs of a cold that will knock me down? Not if I knock it down first. New Vicks First Defence. It traps, inactivates and removes cold viruses. Helps knock down a cold before it takes hold. Vicks First Defence.
Travel the whole world of Australia in the new Nissan Navara.
This is the internet. But this is the internet with bloody good broadband. Switch to Aussie Broadband's super fast plan that's 5 times faster than the average internet plan. Aussie Broadband. Bloody good broadband.
Broken down, eh, Keith? Oh dear. Some insurers don't offer free roadside assist for a year, but Amy does with a new Amy Comprehensive Car Insurance Policy. Does your insurer offer this? Amy does.
Ben Cunnington, AFL star, talks about his hair loss.
The best thing about having my hair back is probably my self-confidence.
Call Advanced Hair Studio now.
Just like I did.
Call 1300 Advanced now.
People are really surprised at what we do have and what we stock. We've got a full smart home range from lights to security locks to cameras, everything to control your home in a smart way.
We use the security system that we've got from Bunnings to look at our dogs when they're being naughty. We can just say, Billy, Georgia, and they'll just look at the camera and they know.
So you can have this amazing tech for a really low price.
Bunnings Warehouse. Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
These days, it's important to stay connected with trusted news delivered by real journalists in real time. Subscribe for just $1 a week for the first 12 weeks for full digital access. Search News Special Offer now.
The quarter-final against South Melbourne here at Highmarsh, that night there was the biggest and loudest that I've ever heard. So that was a special moment.
We are in an amazing period of football.
Here come the Tigers! Wonderful scenes for footy.
There's unpredictability, there's high scores, there's goal kicking. Footy's great at the moment.
Welcome back to Coffs Harbour for the second A-League fixture here tonight. It's the Newcastle Jets up against Perth Glory in this all-important round 16 clash. The Jets sitting 11th, Perth 10th. Just one win in their last 15 matches combined. And they are desperate for all three. And Valentino Yule is going to head out there replacing Jason Hoffman. Chris Bowling, the goalkeeper coach for Newcastle, out there because he was doing some warm-ups with Luis Italiano just at the back end of the half-time break. Had a great first half, Lewis. Just wanted to keep the fingers warm. It's time now to head downstairs and get the thoughts of Jets coach Craig Deans. And Craig, what did you learn from that first 45?
Oh, look, we showed a good spirit and a good fighting character, but
you know, we created some chances again, and it's a matter of being more clinical again and making sure we take some chances when they come in the second half.
You've obviously got Valentino Yule coming off the bench right now. What was the reason for him starting off the pine?
Actually, just to see if we could have an impact towards the back end of the game. We probably fell away towards the last half hour on the weekend. So somebody off the bench, Hoffy's come up injured, so a bit earlier than we wanted, but looking forward to seeing his impact in the second half.
Thanks, Deansy. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Craig Deans, Newcastle Jets head coach. Back underway in the second 45. All locked up at 0-0 at the moment. The keeper's the star of the show at this point. And the bad news out of all of that conversation is that Jason Hoffman is injured again. So we'll await further information post-match.
And just to let you know, Valentina Yule has come over to this left-hand side and Stamatolopoulos has gone over to the right-hand side.
Keogh slipping it wide. Armiento unleashing. And Italiano again quickly forced into action early in the second half.
That's better from Carlo. You know, when he lets rip with that left foot, he jinks, he makes a bit of space, he gets a side at goal, and he really can leather the ball. And it was a tough one for Italiano again. 30 seconds into the first half, he had to save his team, and that was more straightforward. 30 seconds or so into the second half, but it still stung his palms, and he couldn't take it at the first grasp. There was a slight opportunity for a Perth player on the rebound as a result.
So Valentino Yule, no goals in his last 9 matches. He did have that goal disallowed by the VAR on Saturday against Victory. That's Propotomides with the header to Kilkenny. Kerry, well, placed the divot. Crucio. It's Miller over the sideline for a glory throw. Topo Stanley. Floating it up for O'Donovan, but that's Propotomides winning it in the air. Brought down by O'Toole. It's a tricky one. Pounced on by the Perth defender. That's Propotomides. Now Thurgate's pass. All a little frantic at the start of this second 45. Both sides giving away possession cheaply. Jackson. Now he turns it over to Ott. Latchman. Bramwell. Fornaroli. And now Latchman.
Well, this is my point about Newcastle and their midfield. Latchman's the centre defender. And I've got no problem with a centre defender ending up shooting inside the box, but he's carried the ball pretty much to the edge of the penalty area. And from that advanced position, then the ball falls to him and he shoots wide, but he might have got it on target, might have scored.
And he'd done it 3 or 4 times in the first half as well, if you remember. Warning signs there for Newcastle, especially down through that centre.
Well, he scored Perth Glory's most recent goal 2 matches ago. Armiento. Miller. The clearance across goal. Yule. That's neat work from Valentino. Crucio just ridden to ground by Timmins, who's straight into the book.
Well, that's like no. What is Timmins doing? Goes through a player's head there. This is sort of suggesting not much on that evidence.
Just his 13th match in the A-League for the 21-year-old. So Perth Glory closing in on nearly 5 hours without a goal in the A-League.
Amazing, considering their start, which was a record one, 18 goals in the first 6.
incredible. And of course, the injury to Diego Castro is going to help things. Nick D'Agostino, of course, out as well.
They've got a bit of firepower on the bench. See Chris Economides in a long-awaited return, of course, the Socceroo. You'd imagine get some game time depending on the circumstances of the match, and the more he can get back into the Chianese, returning to the club as well. So there's a fair bit of experience and quality in the front part of the field there for Perth.
Good depth on the bench for them. Top or Stanley can't find an option. Frustrated. No one was presenting. On a O'Toole over on the left. Miller. Had nowhere to go there. And Latchman, Darrell, their centre half, scored the last goal for Perth Glory. That was against Newcastle in round 14, and almost, as he had before, no one in QE of him from a corner. Didn't mark up, and he strolled in and scored.
Remy Najjarine coming back from an offside. Interested to see how Remy lasts the game out. He's had injury troubles as well, but of course, Ben, the fasting month of Ramadan is upon and in what must be a league first, and I'll happily stand corrected on this, the Jets have 4 Muslim players all observing Ramadan. Remy Najjarine being one of them. Of course, means no food all day. It's a tough ask for athletes, but they have to get around it.
Stamatolopoulos running at Aspropomides. Picking up with Crusoe. Now O'Toole for Stanley. It was neat from Crusoe, but Bramwell was able to read it. Fornarola. Straight into Neil Kilkenny. How's that for the skipper?
Oh, like a poker machine. His eyes are still spinning. Kilkenny.
That was a set move.
Miller. Here's Lockie Jackson. Strong first half, and Darrell Latchman backtracking. Man, Sky Otter so good down the left for Perth Glory. It's not out of the ordinary, though. It's just consistency from their import. Here we go. Cop this, captain.
Well, the space just beautifully. Did Fornaroli. Very possibly with a bruised cheek.
O'Donovan looking for Crusoe and just second-guessing himself, playing it to Top or Stanley. They retain possession. That's about it for Newcastle. That promising situation coming to nothing. Matt Miller could turn it into something here. Hanging it up to Asproponomides, a good one. Miller fed by Najjarine. Returns it, little 1-2. Miller. Is there a handball there from Koskei Otter? It's going to be a corner anyway.
He did ask for it. Doesn't beat the first man again. Sloppy defending from Amiento. He didn't want to chase his runner. Once he'd given the ball and gone, Amiento just clocked off. Miller gets into the crossing position. He wins the corner.
Definitely no handball there from Najjarine. The arm's right at the body. It's Najjarine curling it in. So from Otter, there's Crusoe. Italiano. Ball cut out by Fornaroli. So diligent at half-time, the Jets goalkeeper, Luis Italiano, to CEX Coffs International Stadium. Gould, a foot race with Guerrier. Just the goal kick to come out of all that. So we've reached the mark now for Perth Glory. 5 hours without a goal. Staggering, isn't it? How the goals have dried up for Perth. After such a bright 5-3 and 5-4 results. 1-4, 1 against in the opening 2 matches. Here's Otter. Keogh making a run at the centre. Topor Stanley with the interception.
Strong, really strong from Topor Stanley. There were 4 Perth players steaming into the penalty area. All confident that the ball from Otter would get at least close to them. But Topor Stanley was excellent.
Stamatolopoulos riding a couple of challenges. Nazarene.
Double change coming up for Perth Glory. Looks like Kieran Bramwell and Callum Timmins will be taken off.
Are we going to see Chris Economides, Bozza?
That they didn't tell me who's coming on. They told me who's coming off.
Well, I can tell you, Neil Kenny rushing through the midfield now and finding Jason Guerrier. And Guerrier unloads into the back of O'Toole. Fornaroli had it taken off him by Kilkenny. Way for Perth. So Joel Chianese, one of the men. Economides is going to join him as Kilkenny bending towards Latchman. Similar position to where he scored Perth's most recent goal.
Well, Ben, you've got it. Joel Chianese and Brandon Wilson will be coming on.
O'Toole. Economides just a little off balance. Needed work from him to intervene. Here's Kilkenny, now Armiento. This is where he's so dangerous. The space in front of him. And he makes something happen. Keogh. O'Toole in the right spot. Otter again, but dangerous ball in. Italiano gobbling it up.
He's been good tonight. Italiano, he's done the difficult things spectacularly and the routine things really efficiently. Very comfortable. Set a really good standard for his team's defence as Italiano.
Came close in the first half to scoring. Now Yule. Kilkenny hooking it clear. Topor Stanley tracking it down. Miller. Nazarene. Cruchoise to push the pass forward, and gee whiz. The air just goes out of that attack for Newcastle, and we're going to see the change now for Perth Glory. So Joel Chianese back in the A-League after that stint in the Indian Super League. He's on loan from Hyderabad. Replays Kieran Bramwell. And Cal Timmins coming off.
And the youngsters did well. And despite, I estimated there's a brain explosion for that yellow card for Timmins, he was otherwise very busy, very effective. Played well. The youngster side.
Brandon Wilson has been used in a mix of ways this year. 6 off the bench, 6 starts, so another one off the bench tonight. Keogh, Fornaroli looking for the space. O'Toole again, dropping back to knock it away to safety for Newcastle. Stamatolopoulos then compounds that by conceding a free kick.
He's on the yellow card too, don't forget, so he wants to go very carefully. He's pretty light on his feet there, clear foul. He was pretty quick to get his hands in the air.
Final half an hour of this one. Three points a must for both sides tonight. And now Fornaroli, Andy Keogh shifts it across, and would you book in the A-League? It's Joel Chianese who scores for Perth Glory. Back onto the score sheet with basically his first touch.
Well, nicely worked as the ball falls out to Kosuke Honda. He doesn't deliver the ball into the box this time. He hits it square along the penalty area, and Fornaroli read the move of Keogh beautifully, and Keogh knew that Fornaroli would reward him with the ball through. Keogh with the smarts to square it, and Chianese desperate enough. Connor O'Toole couldn't see it away, but Joel Chianese sees it into the back of the net.
Five goals in 12 coming into this one against Newcastle, make it 6. He's lost just twice in 12 against Newcastle. Has he set them on a path for victory? How about that? Announced his return to Perth glory, and now his name's up in lights once again.
Left, stay in front, stay in front. Good.
Fornaroli. And they finish off Newcastle with a second. And considering Newcastle's struggles for goals this season, they will sense a second and go close to winning it for them, Perth Glory. Three points taking Perth up to 20 points on the table. Very congested there. Of course, still a big gap to the top 6. But games in hand for Perth on Western Sydney, who are at the base of that 6. Fornaroli, Geria again with an overlapping run, and he's linking up with Kilkenny. Latchman, and just knocking the ball around with some confidence now, Perth Glory. Geria. Off Yule, falls to Jason Geria. Fornaroli. Armiento spies a little opening. Armiento blocked by Jackson. Falls for Otter. Armiento linking up with Otter. Corner now for Perth.
Well, Craig Danes has to make a change if there's anything to salvage. You can't now, 7.5 games into a losing streak, not make some changes. Perth with the goal, and Bozza asked this question: who scores first? How does the other team react? Well, Perth obviously have got a bit more confidence. Castle running the very real risk at the moment of just coming apart at the seams completely. No pressure on the ball at all in that phase.
Kilkenny curling again. Stamatolopoulos away. Armiento, why not have a strike? And Stamatolopoulos just clears it away. Perth will be comfortable with that.
Get a bit closer, get a bit more aggressive in the mind to stop Perth from getting into any sort of rhythm now on the back of that goal.
Stamatolopoulos finds Nazarene. Can he spark some life for Newcastle? Prucho, Stamatolopoulos. Is there a penalty? There is for Newcastle. Mission on the way for the Jets. Just as Perth were starting to look so confident and comfortable. And a penalty given away by arguably one of their best tonight.
Did he get the ball? He's in front position. Otter probably doesn't get the ball. It looks to be like a really sharp decision from Sean Evans.
And that sums it up for Rich Garcia.
What a great opportunity for Newcastle. Roy O'Donovan hasn't had many touches on the ball. Will get the chance to level the scores and give the Jets an injection of confidence.
His last goal came against Perth in round 14, just one in his last 10. And Roy converts for Newcastle, and they're back level. Can it inspire them to take it further?
Well, if you're not going to get many touches on the ball, this is what to do when you get one. Otter had the position but misses the ball. Takes out Stamatolopoulos. Penalty correctly awarded and really well put away by Roy O'Donovan.
So he goes level with Valentino Yule as the Jets' leading goal scorer this season. Roy O'Donovan with his 4th. The Jets' second highest goal scorer in their history, behind Joel Griffiths. And this match takes another twist. Perth desperate to turn around a poor run away from home. Just 2 wins in 9 on their travels this season. No wins in New South Wales. 4 losses and a draw. Their coach Richard Garcia wasn't happy that they were forced to play in Coffs Harbour. It's fair enough, it's a long journey for them. Are they a little leg weary now, late on in the contest? As Matt Miller tracking back, they're going to make another change here, Perth, and this is so exciting. Here is a man who can change a match in an instant. Meanwhile, it's Matt Miller with the early ball. Geria away. And Chris Economides about to head out for his first competitive match in more than a year. February 1 last year, the last time he played in the A-League. Nazarene, O'Toole skips over the challenge of Chianese. Prusho bending, that was so perilously close to the head of Stamatolopoulos. All of a sudden, it's Newcastle asking the questions.
Well, it's the miscontrol from Connor O'Toole, which actually sets up the attack. It's a nice cutback. It's a wicked first-time ball. Nazarene, maybe some sort of block for Stamatolopoulos. I mean, Nazarene's not going to hit that.
So how good is this? Chris Economides back from that ACL injury that he suffered in February last year. He runs back out onto the pitch in the A-League here in Coffs Harbour. Top or Stanley scooping it up towards Stamatolopoulos. Wasn't conventional. Works out for Prusho. Thurgate. Now Miller. Geria away only as far as Thurgate. Yule tracking it down. Here's Thurgate's pass. Prusho, great turn. Prusho should have done better. The turn was exquisite and the shot just let it down.
Yeah, he did turn nicely. Thurgate squaring the ball in. Wilson was caught in that half mind, and the pressure perhaps that Jason Guerrier put on by sliding in might have made Perso slightly rush things, but a great side at goal for the Jets. Good play.
Guerrier, Chianese, the goal scorer for Perth. Straight into the arms of Italiano, barking instructions to his men.
And what a last 5 minutes that Luca Presso's had.
Stamatolopoulos striding forward, and the touch again. Guerrier back to Reddy. The pressure's coming. Yeah, 100% Bozza.
The 1-2 for the goal. Another pass, and now the turn and the shot. And also a special word for Fornaroli on Perth Glory's goal. You know, simplicity, they say, is a key to life. It is to football as well. And you've seen 2 1-2s on the edge of the box, both going into the pockets where it's so important. That space between the edge of the 6-yard box and the edge of the 18-yard box. But the 1-2 is such an underestimated, but so difficult to defend against skill.
Just there, man. No further. No further.
O'Toole. Kilkenny. Jackson backtracking. Probably not where he intended the header. Top or Stanley. Over Kilkenny's head. Now Ewell. Came off the bench at half-time, did Valentino, and Craig Dean said it was because he wanted some late spark. And this is where he wants a pocket rocket, Valentino Ewell, to inspire the Jets. So free kick for Perth. And now Jason Guerrier showing his toe, but Valentino Ewell recovering well.
Starting position was poor though. Ewell, he had a lot of time to make sure that pass from Latchman couldn't be hit. And he did well to recover the territory in the end, but it shouldn't have been that desperate for him, and it needn't necessarily have been a corner.
Otter. Again asking questions of Italiano, but he's been imperious when the ball's been in the air tonight. He's been imperious throughout. Goal, not really his fault. Maintaining his starting spot in the side. Down the other end at Stamatolop. Good work from Economides though. The final quarter hour upon us now in Coffs Harbour. Chianese with the opener for Perth, and then Roy O'Donovan with the equaliser from the penalty spot. That's where we sit at the moment in a match between the 11th place Jets and 10th place Perth Glory. 3 points is a must. Jackson. Stanley fires it forward. Ewell. Arm work from Aspropotomides. So now Fornaroli. Which way is this going? Newcastle's. Latchman flipping it to Wilson. O'Toole keeping a close eye on Economides. It got all the way through to Bruno Fornaroli. Fornaroli into the stanchion.
Just the supporting run out wide. Jason Guerrier was just a little bit late in coming, so Economides just straightened things, and I'm just as well to give it to El Tuna as anyone.